With the 14-team postseason field finalized, let us waste no further time.
We've never had two 15-win teams in the playoffs. You have them matching up in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Are you going to go against your former team, the Chiefs, ever?
Three-peat. It's time to make history.
We've taken a good hard look into our crystal ball, and the results have been unveiled. How about we dive into our prediction for the entire 2024-2025 NFL postseason and winner of Super Bowl 59. AFC wildcard round. Number 2 Buffalo Bills versus number 7 Denver Broncos. For the fourth time in 5 years, Josh Allen and company enter the postseason as the second seed. Allen and the Bills have made easy work of their opponents on wildcard weekend, but Bo Nix and the Broncos figured to give the likely MVP winner quite the fight. Remember, the Broncos won in Buffalo a year ago with Russell Wilson as their QB, leading to Joe Brady replacing Ken Dorsey as the offensive coordinator. Bo Nix is miles better than 2023 Russell Wilson, and the Broncos come into this game with the league's third best defense. We expect a nail-biter for 60 minutes, but it's just too hard to go against the league's most dominant player of 2024. Allen will put on the Superman cape in the fourth quarter and lead Buffalo to a 3-point victory. Prediction: Bills 26, Broncos 23. AFC wildcard round. Number 3 Baltimore Ravens versus number 6 Pittsburgh Steelers. Just when it looked like the Pittsburgh Steelers had the AFC North in their laps, they finished the regular season on a 4-game losing skid, handing Baltimore the division crown on a silver platter. Jackson only has 2 career wins against the Steelers, though he missed several starts due to injury. We understand if this matchup has Ravens fans nervous, but it's awfully hard to see how they'll lose this one. The Ravens had the league's third best scoring offense and the number 9 scoring defense. Pittsburgh's D struggled against high-powered offenses all season long, and Russell Wilson has been held to under 220 yards passing in 5 straight games. Last year's Ravens didn't have Derrick Henry, and they still reached the AFC Championship game. We know matchups between these two teams are always down to the wire, but it just feels like Baltimore is bound to run Pittsburgh out of the building. Prediction: Ravens 30, Steelers 16. AFC wildcard round. Number 4 Houston Texans versus number 5 Los Angeles Chargers. The Texans looked like bona fide title contenders in the first half by jumping out to a 6-2 start, but they limped to the finish line and concluded the regular season with a 10-7 record. Losing star wideouts Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell for the year were pretty tough blows for the Texans, who were held to under 30 points in each of their final 6 games. And then we got Jim Harbaugh's Los Angeles Chargers, who finished with the league's number 1 scoring defense. The Bolts allowed just 17.7 points per game, and they won't have to account for 2/3 of the Texans' 3-headed wide receiver monster. Protecting CJ Stroud has been a problem all season long. The Chargers racked up 46 sacks on defense. Justin Herbert plays behind one of the league's best O-lines that should hold its own against Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. Prediction: Chargers 27, Texans 17. NFC wildcard round. Number 2 Philadelphia Eagles versus number 7 Green Bay Packers. A rematch from their Week 1 matchup in Brazil, the high-flying Eagles meet the Packers in the postseason for the first time since 2010. This matchup is awfully juicy for a whole lot of reasons. Saquon Barkley joined the 2K club in his first season with the Eagles, who also finished with the NFL's number 1 total defense. But hey, don't sleep on Matt LaFleur's Packers either. They had a top 10 scoring offense and defense, with Jordan Love and newcomer Josh Jacobs leading the way. Philly won a sloppy Week 1 matchup 34-29, but thankfully the two teams will play on an actual NFL surface this time. Prediction: Eagles 28, Packers 20. NFC wildcard round. Number 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus number 6 Washington Commanders. A resilient Baker Mayfield coupled with an ugly second-half collapse by the Atlanta Falcons allowed the Bucs to secure a 4th straight NFC South Division crown. The Bucs will meet up with perhaps the biggest surprise team of 2024, Jaden Daniels' Washington Commanders. This is a rematch from their Week 1 tilt at Raymond James Stadium, with Tampa crushing Dan Quinn's squad 37-20 and Daniels' NFL debut. But, well, a lot has changed since then. Chris Godwin, the Bucs' leading receiver in that game, is out for the year with a dislocated ankle. And of course, Daniels needed to get himself settled in before enjoying an MVP-caliber rookie year. Always risky betting against the team with home advantage in the postseason, but Washington matches up well with the Bucs, who lack the defensive personnel to slow down this prolific Commanders offense. Prediction: Commanders 31, Buccaneers 27. 7. NFC Wildcard Round. Number 4 Los Angeles Rams versus number 5 Minnesota Vikings. For the second straight year, Sean McVay's Rams overcame a terrible first half and rode a strong finish to the postseason. Meanwhile, the Vikings made rather unfortunate history as the first ever 14-win wildcard team. All led by Sam Darnold's unexpected career year, Justin Jefferson and Brian Flores' defense that allowed the 5th fewest points, which allowed Minnesota to finish with its best record since the 1998 squad that went 15-1. The Vikings are a considerable favorite here, but we're actually leaning toward the upset. The Detroit Lions just laid out the Rams' blueprint to a victory. Blitzed the living daylights out of Darnold. Prediction: Rams 24, Vikings 21. AFC Divisional Round. Number 1 Kansas City Chiefs versus number 5 Los Angeles Chargers. There was a time when Justin Herbert versus Patrick Mahomes looked like one of the next great quarterback rivalries. And to think we would get it twice a year. But, well, it hasn't exactly been a rivalry, with Mahomes posting a ridiculous 7-1 mark against his fellow AFC West quarterback. Steve Spagnuolo's defense has constantly been an issue for Herbert, who has just 15 touchdowns against 6 interceptions in those contests. Mahomes has yet to lose a divisional round game, and it is not about to start against a team with little playoff experience and minimal offensive firepower to match KC's defense. Prediction: Chiefs 26, Chargers 21. AFC Divisional Round. Number 2 Buffalo Bills versus number 3 Baltimore Ravens. Not sure about you folks, but this would be a real Game of the Year candidate. The Bills suffered their worst loss of 2024 against Jackson's Ravens in Week 4, with Baltimore cruising to a 35-10 victory on Sunday Night Football. Not only would this be a fascinating showdown between the two MVP frontrunners, but we would love to see how both defenses perform. Prediction: Bills 34, Ravens 30. NFC Divisional Round. Number 1 Detroit Lions versus number 6 Washington Commanders. Man, wouldn't this be something? The Commanders haven't played in the NFC Championship game since 1991, when they beat the Lions and are out to their most recent Super Bowl title. For the Lions, that 1991 NFC title loss kick-started over 3 decades of misery. So, a showdown between two long-suffering franchises with feel-good stories. Something has to give. Look, Daniels and the Commanders have a promising future. Getting to the playoffs and winning 12 regular season games is nothing to scoff at. But, yeah, we just don't see a young and experienced team like Washington upsetting the NFC's top team, on their home field no less. Prediction: Lions 31, Commanders 16. NFC Divisional Round. Number 2 Philadelphia Eagles versus number 4 Los Angeles Rams. We're truly having a tough time envisioning a Rams victory here. The Eagles came into SoFi Stadium in Week 12 and crushed Sean McVay's squad 37-20. Barkley had a 2,000-yard season. The Rams allowed 130 rushing yards per game. The Rams' offense relies aplenty on Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. The Eagles allowed a league-low 174.2 passing yards per game, led by the dynamic rookie cornerback duo of Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. Yeah. Prediction: Eagles 27, Rams 16. AFC Championship game. Number 1 Kansas City Chiefs versus number 2 Buffalo Bills. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen in a playoff game. Where have we seen that before? Incredibly, it's been 4 long years since these two teams last met in the AFC Championship game. That iconic photo of Stephon Diggs looking on as the Chiefs celebrated their 2020 AFC title victory was supposed to motivate Buffalo to eventually get their comeuppance. But, well, the Bills haven't been back to there ever since. Of course, that includes 2 divisional round playoff losses to Mahomes' Chiefs, including last year's Wide Right Part 2, which took place at Highmark Stadium. While Allen is capable of keeping the Bills in this, we're also nervous about their leaky pass defense needing to contain the likes of Travis Kelce, Marquise Brown, and Xavier Worthy, on top of the Isaiah Pacheco-led ground game. Prediction: Chiefs 30, Bills 23. NFC Championship game. Number 1 Detroit Lions versus number 2 Philadelphia Eagles. For the first time in history, the Lions will host the NFC Championship game, and their last obstacle to their first Super Bowl appearance is an equally dangerous Philadelphia team. This matchup would have the makings to be an all-time classic. The Lions' high-powered offense against Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. Detroit, owners of the league's best offensive line, going up against the league's best front seven. Though the Lions have been the conference favorites all season long, you can't fully rule out a well-balanced Eagles team that played in the big game 2 seasons ago. Prediction: Lions 30, Eagles 27. Super Bowl 59, Detroit Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs. Alright, we know this is the most predictable Super Bowl 59 matchup, but come on, how do you bank on either team losing at home before the Super Bowl? This was the Super Bowl 59 prediction that we made back in December, and yeah, we're sticking with it. We're also sticking with our prediction that the Lions will end Casey's bid for a three-peat to claim their first Super Bowl. Like we said, this Lions team is a team of destiny. They learned from their costly mistakes in last year's NFC Championship loss to the San Francisco 49ers. They have more offensive firepower than Kansas City and enough playmakers on defense to ensure Mahomes doesn't go off again. Led by Jahmyr Gibbs' 2 touchdowns and a 300-yard outing from Jared Goff, the Lions send an all-time thriller to secure their first ever Super Bowl. Bite off those kneecaps, Lions Nation. Prediction: Lions 28, Chiefs 24. But hey, who do you think will face off and win in Super Bowl 59? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.